Good morning. It is 6 something a.m. on Thursday, September 8th, day before my birthday, and I thought I'd show you my harvest. This is the harvest from all of my gardening this year. Okay, or at least the type. The potatoes, these are actually potatoes that it's popped up unexpectedly from a potato that I had put in the ground to just compost in place. But instead it grew more potatoes. So this is like 3 potato plants. Look at that. That's actually a real potato. And then we've got some flowers. I was away this past weekend and it was 100 degrees for 4 days and a lot of stuff went over. But here's kind of what I've got. Here's the type of things I've been growing, and I've been really loving the sunflowers. They are mixed in with a few zinnias here. The cosmos never did bloom. Like they literally, I've got foliage for miles. We have an acidanthera type gladiola. This is the top of another gladiola that I had learned from North Lawn Flower Farms to like strip off the other florets or the spent florets and really consider using it like a cut flower just as one or two. So I'm very excited about that. My roses have been doing well. And just as we go around, I'm loving the branching sunflowers because I don't have a lot of space in the garden either. So having the branching ones that'll keep pushing out blooms, I'm just really liking. So there we go. All right, so while I was gone and everything wilted terribly, everything also got horribly attacked by aphids. So since I got back day before, it was a Tuesday, so 2 days ago, I have been spraying with like a soapy water trying to kill all the aphids. And as you can see, everything had gotten a bit sad and dried out, but I had watered thoroughly before I left. And then I just pruned all of these yesterday to try to remove kind of the worst of the aphids, as well as just some of the dead stems, and just try to rejuvenate it, because it is September 8th today. And as I said, we are expecting a record-breaking hottest day ever recorded in the Denver area as 100 degrees. And previously the hottest on this date had been 94. So it's going to be nuts. Here's a little sunflower here that's been up and active for probably 2 weeks now. So awesome. The elephant ears have been doing great. This gladiolus actually pushed a kind of an orangey red flower that was lovely until the wind knocked it over. Definitely love the celosia as well. A lot of things just died back a bit. Lost most of the pansies up here, which was not surprising, but some of them have actually sprung on back. I'm seeing fewer hummingbirds these days and more of those enormous gypsy moths. So just FYI on that. The gypsy moths, or maybe they're sphinx moths, they are the only ones with any interest whatsoever in the supertunias. The bees don't care about the supertunias. The hummingbirds sure don't care about the supertunias, but the bees and the hummers go wild for the salvia. And this is Rockin' the Blue salvia. Definitely liked this trailing silverberry as a supertunia. Even my supertunia latte, which is a regular vista, I think, from supertunias, maybe even my favorite. We might get out front so I can show you. It's just behaved so nicely. Like, it hasn't gone nuts. But like, on the other hand, it hasn't gone nuts. But yeah, just really pretty. Here's what you can see of all of the detritus. So why did I pick potatoes right now when the plants were still, for the most part, looking pretty green? And I think one of them was no longer upright, but the other one was. Well, it was because the multiple tomato plants that I had put here in this spot had gotten so top heavy, and we get so much wind that they just collapsed on top of the potatoes. Sorry, this is just some detritus from all of that flower picking earlier. So I'm going to consider this open. I'm going to just let these leaves sit here and dry out. But yeah, and really you can see that the sunflowers, yeah, just such a surprise that I actually like them. And I think one of the keys is that they aren't the plain sunflowers, but now I'm curious to see what I'll think of the plain sunflowers too, just your standard sunflowers. Okay, this one has gone over at this point, but I'm going to leave it and just see what happens with, with having pollinated, and just, I am very curious to see what happens. And maybe even have my own sunflower seeds for next year. Yeah, you can see that. These may be Autumn Beauty. I honestly can't recall. But yeah, just absolutely loving these. And they're not huge. They're maybe 5 inches across or so. And here, this one's still opening. But yeah, the Cosmos, I just finally started using it for filler green, because not one bloom. I think all of the excellent care and watering and fertilizer and the light here in my neighborhood at night has just made these completely non-blooming at all. Not even, like, literally, if you looked all over every single plant, not one bud. So, oh well. But the zinnias have been pushing the blooms, and as I've been saying, unfortunately, I actually don't like the zinnias. To me, they just are kind of like a dirty color, and I may still throw a few in the ground next year just because they're actually producing. But yeah, you can see how crispy things got in these containers. My morning glories were crispy. Man, these things throw a lot of seed. I can see why they are invasive in some areas. Let's see. Oh, but yeah, so here's the Acidanthera Gladiolus in action. Here's a couple that have gone over. But yeah, they finally started blooming, and they are adorable. I love it. This tomato plant is still mostly upright. And the part of it that is not upright is okay, because it's just kind of in this other area. But yeah, you can see tomatoes. And of course, my parents have moved away out of town the very first year that I ever have any tomatoes of any quantity to speak of. So interesting. But yeah, but this enormous pot, this pot is probably 20 inches across. And it really is astonishing how much help it is to have that amount of soil versus that, which is probably 1/3 the total capacity. It's really astonishing. And then that one is also probably at least twice the size of this one here, and this one, like, just after one day of being out in 100-degree heat, everything on it is wilted. But it does pop back, which is nice. All right, let's talk about the rest of the yard. So Gladiolus do phenomenally here in my backyard. It has been wet, cold, up until recently rainy. But anytime I've had Gladiolus back here, I feel like knocking on wood, I think you can see here, any of these white marks are likely from bugs having attacked, but I think that's the nature of the beast when it comes. Sorry, I've got one little insect attacking me. Oh, and there we go. There are some icky aphids on this one. Gosh darn it, I hate aphids. But yeah, I think any of those little striations there are actually from bug damage. So the lighter color glads are going to be my friend even more. But I think the only reason it was attacking, the aphids started attacking that, is because I just started to really go after them on the zinnias, which they attacked prior, and the supertunias. So Rose is doing really well. Here's yet another Cosmos with nary a bloom. Salvia is back there, and it's dying back badly. Some more of the roses. Yeah, just really the Gladiolus. I'm gonna go with lighter colors like the white and and there's even a couple of little aphids on there. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna take care of that. But yeah, it just feels really nice back here. And I think me being out of town and things just getting weaker while I was out definitely had an impact on the bugs. So thanks for joining me. Take care and happy gardening.